Alright, so here we have the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro, and it's the 80 ohm version. Had these for a good while now. I haven't done a headphone review in a while, or a review of anything in a while. And the reason being is that I've just been lazy and I've kind of been switching around headphones. I thought my next headphone review was legitimately going to be the 400i's. But that did not end up being the case because I just ended up doing other things, and I used those for a good while, but I went back to using the DT770s because they are pretty much one of my favorite headphones that I own. And I do own quite a few pairs. And I'll go into detail why, and you might be wondering, why do these look so ridiculous? Well, it's because I had this installed because of the fact that these were horribly uncomfortable when I got them. Absolutely horribly uncomfortable. I would wear them and this top part right here would just start to pressure my head, and pretty much after about 15 minutes my head was just in pain. Like literally the top part of my head was in pain because of these. So I did the rational thing, got a friend to make me this, and completely fixed everything. Everything's just fine. Pretty much did the exact same thing with the with Mark III's, and they work just fine. This part super comfortable. The cups are nice and big, super comfortable. They're a velour, but they're a strong velour, not a very soft kind, so they're still closed headphones. And because of that, I like them. I tend to prefer closed headphones really because my room tends to be a bit noisy because I have a fan going all the time because it's hot here in Texas. So to be able to isolate noise is pretty damn great for me. And the reason that really these are my headphones that I tend to go back to the most is really because of the fact that they have the best bass of any headphones that I have. Completely. Because what the DT770s do really well is they reach that low end. They're reaching into that sub bass, and they're just rattling your head with just awesome, clean bass. And right there, already, that means they're going to be headphones that I go back to all the damn time. Because while I enjoy, clear vocals, and I enjoy, some nice treble, bass is where it's at for me, But I don't enjoy muddy bass, and I feel like that is where a lot of bass headphones tend to go down. These don't do that. Now, these are marketed as studio monitors. Don't know how I feel about that because the mids on these are a bit recessed. I wouldn't say they're too recessed. I hear people say that, they couldn't handle the recessed mids. Doesn't bother me too much, really. I mean, there's certain songs where you can really tell that the vocals are a little bit too far back, but honestly, I don't think that it ruins the experience, and overall, I think they're still a fun pair of headphones to listen to, but for monitoring, that's a bit iffy because, at least in my opinion, what a monitor should do is present to you the vocals, like the voice, very clearly. Everything else can go fuck itself, because what you're pretty much doing when you're monitoring is you're listening to yourself speak, and these with recessed mids don't do as good of a job as even my M50s. My M50s barely get used at all, but when I want to actually monitor my voice, those are pretty much the ones that I go to because say what you will about the M50s, what they do great is they put everything in your ear, everything is right there. The mids are right there. You're hearing your voice. These, I don't trust them too much on that. They don't do a horrible job monitoring. It's not like suddenly your mixes are going to be absolutely awful with this. It's not like suddenly you're going to get this weird effect with your voice with these. No, it's just, if you're looking for a pair of monitors, maybe don't just go with these. Find something a little bit better. If you don't want just a dedicated pair of monitors and you also want a pair of headphones that you can actually enjoy, maybe, yeah, these are it if you like bass. Now, there is a treble spike to them. There is a definitely a peak point in the treble that can... I'm trying to find the right word to describe it. I wouldn't say that it's annoying, because I haven't found anything that was really annoying with it. I've heard annoying treble, and these don't have annoying treble. It's just that the treble is definitely a little bit more prominent, as tends to be with Beyerdynamic in general. But I don't think that it's a downside of these. Now, these are the 80 ohm versions, which means they pretty much are powered by anything. I have to raise the volume almost to max on my phone to really get a good volume out of them. My FIO E10K handles them just fine. The Magni 2 handles them just fine. There's a 32 ohm version and a 250 ohm version. Haven't heard those at all. My only experience is with the 80 ohm version. And I have to say, it is probably one of my favorite pair of headphones. Bass itself, fantastic. I love the sub bass. This is what I use when I'm listening to just like hip hop, when I'm listening to just electronic music where I just want to feel the bass. These are it. And I think they do their job well in that department. In terms of monitoring though, I can't recommend them if all you want is a pair of monitors. Now, if you're the kind of person that is looking at the M50s because everybody recommends those, look at these instead. Because I almost guarantee you are not getting the M50s because you want a pair of monitors. And if that is the case, these are it. The best way I can describe this is these are what everybody thinks the M50s are. You know? They're better than what you're going to get at its price range. Most likely. And I say most likely because of the fact that the price of these has been going up and down. Recently, when I picked these up, they were about $140. Last time I looked, they were $170. I don't know how good of a sale they are at $170. At $140, I pretty much recommend them because you're paying just slightly above what you would typically find the M50s at. And at that point, getting these is probably going to be a safer bet. But if you're getting closer to $200 range and you don't need clothes back, maybe, just maybe, consider getting something else. Getting the K7XXs isn't a bad idea. Not as good a bass, but overall, everything just seems to be more balanced. These are definitely V-shaped. Definitely V-shaped audio. There's no flatness here, which is why I can't recommend them as monitors. Or I can't recommend them as exclusive monitors. You know, where you want that flat signature and you want the voice to be very prominent. So, in terms of mixing headphones, these aren't it. In terms of monitoring headphones, these aren't it. If you want something that is an all-around good pair of headphones, get these. Because in a lot of ways, you spend $150 for these. And that's it. That's the last pair of headphones you need to buy. Because I can almost guarantee you these fill the niche that a lot of people want. They want that bassy headphone that, you know, doesn't ruin everything else. You don't want the bass bleeding into the mids and everything. I don't really get too much of a bleed there. Maybe a little bit of an accentuated mid bass. But nothing really too extreme. All around, I feel like they are just probably one of my favorite pair of headphones and one of the ones that I consistently use over and over and over again. And just because of that, they get a recommendation from me. So, honestly, pick up a pair. You know, if you feel happy with the collection of headphones that you have, still pick up a pair, you know? If all you have is open back headphones, these are the closed ones to get. A lot of people tend to not like the audio on these though, so I definitely recommend that you try them out before you buy. Because that treble spike might be a little too much for you, and those recessed mids might be a little too much for you. But the thing is, I would rather have the recessed mids than just muddy mids that tend to happen with a lot of bass headphones. So these are pretty much probably getting a huge solid recommendation from me, but buyer beware, there are certain issues with the audio that some people just can't handle. And I'm someone who's very treble sensitive. And I don't have an issue with these. So take that as you will. Anyways, that is going to be the end of this review, guys. Thank you all for watching. And we'll see you guys next time when I review... I don't know. Because I've been spending a lot of time with these and with the 700Xs by Audio Technica. So maybe those will be next.